All right, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. This is a 2022 YT Jeffsy Core 2 and 27.5 Black Magic colorway. I've been riding it for about a year now, and now this review is gonna be a little bit more on the technical side of things, not so much the ride quality or whatever. But yeah, this is bone stock for the most part, beyond some drivetrain stuff, grips and pedals, obviously. But I paid. Bike is listed for like $3,000 on the YT website, but I paid in shipping and taxing. I think the price goes up to like 3,500 ish. In this review, I'm just going to talk about my experience with this as an actual bike, service wise and just functionality wise, not so much the rideability or how it rides. I do want to mention real quick, when it comes to setting up the bike using YT's online suspension setup system, the put your weight in or whatever. Using their online service, this I find it to be quite faulty because not only does it have the wrong shocks listed, this bike did come with a Float X, which it's currently spec'd. It was and is currently spec'd to have a DPX2, which two different shocks, but it's so that is just like not correct. But I mean, it gives you a good ballpark, but I would go off the sag since I've added maybe 30 psi more than what it wants as me as a 160 pound rider. I mean, yeah, it's quite off, and I do need to play with volume spacers as this frame is not quite as progressive as they market it. I wouldn't put a coil shock on this. I do bottom out quite easily, and I'm running way above spec air pressure for this shock, not for what the website says I should have. So it is a pretty linear bike, even though they do say you can't put a coil shock on it. I might hesitate in doing that. As for that, I mean, let's just hop right in. So as I've mentioned, this is the 2022 model of the YT Jeffsy. This is a Core 2. And so just to begin, I'm gonna start with the physical attributes, whether complaints or anything. But to start off, here the water bottle, as you can see, it's a very tight frame. So this is a 21 ounce water bottle, and it doesn't clear. The flex from the cage gives it what it needs, but it does not fit in here quite well. And I believe to get the Fidlock YT model, whatever Thirstmaster, he's gonna set you back like $40 plus shipping. So then my only complaint about the geometry or even the frame itself is while riding, you do have quite a bit of heel rub on the seat stay right here. You have quite a bit of heel rub. This does come out quite a bit, and tire clearance is not an issue, but you do end up having a lot of heel rub. So now I do find it worth mentioning that at around a price tag, I think the website lists it as $3,000 flat, but plus tax and shipping, you end up paying like $3,400, something like that. This bike does come spec with some, I'm not gonna say crappy brakes, but they're nowhere near the level of braking needed for a 160 travel bike. I mean, you can ride this pretty hard. As for the drivetrain, I mean, the NX Eagle has done its job. This is already bent, but I mean, it does its job. It works good enough. Now I have upgraded to a GX Eagle shifter right there. Yeah. But also keep in mind, when I bought this bike, it was listed as having a Float DPX2, I think it is. It came with a Float X or a Fox Float X, that is an upgrade. So just keep that in mind when buying. I believe it is currently listed having a DPX2 or DPX2. So that's definitely a little bonus. And as for any frame storage, I have a little Worldwide Cyclery frame strap right here. It's got, two multi-tools, whatever. And that is the only place it fits. There is not a lot of room on this bike, which I do believe they could have gotten away with moving the water bottle mounts down way under. Another area of spec are the tires. This does come with a Minion DHR2 front and rear EXO protection casing, whatever. They work. I mean, no complaints. Wish it had come with a front oriented tire on the front, but it didn't. And as for the tires themselves, I have probably like 4 punctures in the rear. I think I currently have, where is it? Yeah, we've got bacon keeping this tire alive, but yeah. These tires do come on DT Swiss M1900 rims. This is the 27.5 version. And these rims, I mean, they've been great. They don't break. I mean, my rims are never straight. This is very, very out of whack, but it works, and it's still holding together. I do have to tighten the spokes quite frequently. I believe they're kind of, or no, they're good right now, but they do need to get tightened pretty frequently. Now, as for the bottom bracket, this is a press fit system, so it, you know, say what you will, it does work, even though it's a little annoying to do any bottom bracket service or anything like that. And then for the YT Postman dropper post, it works well. I mean, it's the rebranded SDG Tellus dropper, so you know, no complaints, and it's good. It does run dry pretty often, but it is what it is. And then obviously we have a Fox 36 Performance air fork up here, 2022. And it's solid. Good. You know, as I mentioned, these SRAM G2Rs, while they do lack in power, like significantly, they get the job done. I have to service these about, what, every 3 months. So pretty often to keep them running decent. It's about time for another service. You see it pulls pretty far to the bar. And if you're gonna be running these brakes in general, I recommend a piston service along with every, don't replace the pistons, just clean them out, dry them out, and lube them back up since you're already at it. Now it comes with 200 millimeter rotors, front and rear, which is great. Love the big rotors. But as for the frame, servicing the frame can be a little tricky. For example, if you're removing the rear triangle, removing it is the easy part, but putting it back together, you need to thread every bolt in, well, every main pivot point, even those down there. You need to thread them all before you torque them. So just get the threads started and then get them all aligned, because it's a pain to align every single bolt otherwise if you just tighten them in one at a time. Now real quickly, going back to the dropper post, the SDG Tellus lever right here, it has, yeah, as you can see, bad tendency of breaking your cables. Like this, I need a new one like today. Oh, yep, what did I tell you? There it goes. But these like, just the way, the angle that this goes at wants to tear your cables, as you just saw. Now, as for the bar and stem, this is just a E13 35 millimeter base components. You know, this is a 50 mil stem with these 35 millimeter bars, and I believe they're 20 millimeters rise with an A-Cross headset, which, I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it. Squeaks a lot. Okay, I can't recreate it now, but it was squeaking earlier. So that's it. If you have any questions about the bike, please let me know down below, and thanks for watching. I also just want to mention real quick that when I first received the bike, it came with almost no grease. Just keep that in mind if you're going to buy this bike. I don't know if that was just one overlooked thing when assembling this bike, but this bike did not have grease on any axles, pivots, not even the shock pivots. Hubs were dry. I mean, just keep that in mind. You might have to grease it up yourself.